Atlas RFID was founded in 2007 to bridge the gap between auto ID and efficiency-conscious firms. Our software product, Jovix, utilizes RFID and barcodes to track materials from fabrication to installation, both online and via mobile. This is material readiness. And that means skilled labor, including welders, pipe fitters, and installation crews, spend less time waiting on materials and more time on tools. Jovix has been deployed on over 300 sites in 10 countries spanning 5 continents.
Welcome to the latest Jovix release webinar. We are happy to have you here with us today, and we're going to jump right into the webinar after I cover a few ground rules. So during the webinar, we are going to have live Q&A. You'll see it over there on the right in your GoToMeeting webinar window. Here you can type in your questions while we're talking. We may answer it while we're going through this, and if we don't, we will address it at the end of the call. We may run a little over today, so if we don't answer your question while you are on the line, we will be sure to email you afterwards. So let's get to know the team here. I'm Jessica Vance, Director of Marketing here at Atlas RFID and General Question Asker. And here with me today is David Beaton. He is our VP of Product Strategy. I'm also going to have Jeff Burns, our Hardware Product Manager, on the line later. And what we have in store today is to cover the latest from our product launch. So included in this is receiving, picking, issuing, and the big news of our iOS launch into the Apple Store. And then we're going to wrap it up with a hardware update and, like I mentioned, some live Q&A. So let me get David to join us here. So David, welcome to the webinar.
Hey, thanks, Jessica. It's really good to be here.
Perfect. So let's jump right into the product launch news. One of the big topics that we're going to discuss is receiving. So let's discuss a little bit about some of the mobile receiving features that are launching in this product release.
Yeah, you bet, Jessica. It's a really big first step for us in field mobility on consumer-grade mobile devices. Is the receipt of the material to a location. This is really where it all begins, and having the ability to perform receipts from your mobile device is a game changer. To be clear, we didn't have this ability just 6 short weeks ago, and the true testament to our agile-based development and our focus to ensure we're providing what our customers are asking for. To start with, we'll be doing quick receiving by purchase order, and we'll even include the ability to process a receipt from a shipment line item with this launch. We went really big with this one. Functionality thus far includes, we have the ability to scan purchase order delivery lines or POTLs with a barcode scanner to start a receipt from the purchase order that the POTL is on. Then the user performing the receipt can quickly filter of the receivable POTLs based on material code and description, material code name, and shipment release notes. POTL and shipment quick receipt, what do I mean by this? We define quick receipt as performing receipts against their POTLs where a discrepancy doesn't exist. For those receipts that have a discrepancy, you'll be seeing an OS&D and a quantity management coming up in that future product launches. But today, you'll have the ability to process your standard receipt without any issue at all. We've also provided the ability to continue an existing receipt already in process. These receipts are filtered to those that are not signed and not yet completed. Finally, we added the ability in this release for the end user, to sign the receipt as part of the completion process. So now I'd like to walk you through a demo video. And within this demo video, over on the right-hand side, you see the actual device, and on the screen, you're looking at Jovix Mobile. So let me just quickly run you through this tour. So from the main screen, you'll have the ability to select Receive, which is the application within the mobile application that we'll be using here for this demo. After that, you have the ability to either scan a barcode from the purchase order or to actually type in the shipment, like I was saying, as far as the features go. If you choose to type in the ID, Jovix will create a suggested list after the first 3 characters are entered. Once the filter comes down, you'll have the selection for the radio button. Select that radio button, and then you'll be able to pop right into that PO and start the receiving process. A receipt has now been created for the PO, and all fields that are bold are required. This is also user configurable based on setting up your project. In this case, only the receiving site is actually required, so we'll tap that field and enter the first few characters. Jovix will then do a filter and a search and suggest you options based on that search. And after selecting the receiving site, tap the green Create Receipt button to save the new receipt and continue through the process. Once you're in the main receiving screen here, you'll see a listing of all the receivable items associated with that PO. They're available. Tap the radio button to the left of each line you want to receive, and you can also tap anywhere else on the card to get more information about this total. As you can see, as I type on that card, it breaks out to the size, the pipe spool information, the schedule, the wall thickness, the diameter of that pipe. Once you have it selected, hit receive. Success, that item is now received, and Jovix returns you a little toast up at the top here, lets you know that that particular line item is receiving. And if you're finished, you can just sign the document if that's the only item that came in. Because we're receiving by podal and not shipment, that might be the only item that came in for this particular shipment, and you can sign the document. If not, select the radio button and continue going. Repeat the process, like I was just saying, tap the radio button and keep on rocking. Success, the next podal is up. Hit that, hit receive. Here's the last item on the podal. At any time though, remember, you could have signed off this MRR and continued on with another receipt. Last item selected, hit receive. No more receivable items, so now we'll have the option at this time to tap the sign button, sign the document, and this will formalize the receiving process within Jovix as well. And also note that your signature is going to be stored as an attachment against the receipt and be available at any time, almost instantaneously. It'll be uploaded right away against the Jovix server. There you go, there's an example of my signature. So now receiving is complete, and Jovix returns to the receiving home screen to let you receive whatever's next.
Thanks for walking through that. So you mentioned that this is the first step. What can we expect to see in later releases for receiving?
So for receiving itself, we have a few things that are on the go. The next steps are already in progress with our development teams, and targeted for the first product launch include the ability to use the native camera, the one that's already built into your phones and tablets, to scan the podal and barcode, the ability to edit or modify a receipt header, to create a material from a shipment item, which you would do if an unexpected material arrive on a shipment while you were receiving. Also to create a material receipt request, an MRR, by shipment, quick receive by shipment item where no discrepancies exist, and perform advanced searches. Those are all things that are in the pipeline to get completed.
Okay, so that's definitely a game changer when it comes to field mobility. So let's move on. Let's talk about the second set of this product release, which is the continued development, I should say, of our picking. So the product was just launched to the public a few weeks ago, and I understand that there's some exciting news here as well.
Yeah, that's right, Jessica. We continue to develop out our mobile picking application, and this launch was all about offline mode. Now that when you tap your actual pick list that you're working on, it's automatically cached and ready for offline work. There are a couple of different ways you can think about this. First, when you're starting a pick list, you already added insurance that if you do go offline at any time during the picking process, you can continue your pick list seamlessly without even knowing that you've gone offline. In this product launch, we've also added the ability to find your items on a map using the TSL passive RFID reader and the material's last known GPS location when offline. So as you can see here, I'll show you a demo on this as well, but you have the ability to find while offline. I'll go into a demo video here for you as well and show you this improved functionality. So the picking activity, again, back to that home screen, you have the picking pane, which is the application within the mobile platform. While picking, you can utilize the find feature to locate materials using the GPS location. Like I said, if you have spotty data, you're covered. So select the pick. The next screen shows you all available pick lists or those pick lists that have been assigned to you by your supervisor. And you can tap the radio button next to the pick list or tap anywhere else on the pick list card to get more information. So the radio button selects it. More information is over to the right or anywhere else that you select. So here we've done both. We've selected the pick list and we've also expanded the pane to show you more information on that pick list. As you can see, we have job 1, we have the date requested, we have the assigned tos, branded draggers, and picked by will be populated once you start this and process the pick. Jovix shows more information once you dive into the actual picking process. We have pick list details up at the top that allows you to view information on the header level relating to this pick list. You can tap to move through the various screens. So as you move to the pick list items, you can select using the radio button over on the left-hand side, just as before, or you can tap the material card for more information and tap the radio button to commence the picking activity. After viewing the information and selecting the item for picking, you can tap the green select item button at the top to proceed. After choosing the item to pick, Jovic shows you the materials available to fill the request. Same rules apply. Tap the card for more information, then tap the radio button to select the material. To use the find feature on this screen, swipe to the left and a find pane will come out. And when you select that find pane, you'll be then prompted with your location as well as the location of your materials, and you can start the find procedure on your phone and using your TSL Bluetooth barcode reader slash passive RFID reader in order to take advantage of that the power of the passive RFID as well during this find. Having located the material, successful read, tap the radio button, then tap the green pick material button at the bottom to officially pick that item. And after picking an item, Jovic returns you to the pick list item screen and the items remaining to be picked. Repeat the process until you're done all your items on the screen. You can review the information on this particular one, tap it, the availables available to pick are shown. Here's some information regarding that material available to pick. And now we have 2 picked items in the picking screen and this pick ticket is done. So let's talk about offline mode just a little bit more when it comes to picking. If you need to pick materials that are in areas of low or no connectivity, or you're unsure and you just want to add the added insurance that you're not going to have any issues going offline, Jovic allows you to download the pick list information and then go offline into the field. To use this functionality, tap the menu button, that's the hamburger button up in the top right hand corner, to select this functionality and hit settings. So picking for offline mode, as you can see here, there's a toggle switch under experimental that allows you to toggle that on and off, whether or not you want to be using that offline mode. And as I told you earlier, once it's on, the minute you select the pick list, it's going to cache that information for you and allow you to proceed into areas of no connectivity or low connectivity with confidence that you're not going to have any issues. So when you go back to your pick list, the data is cached in Jovic and you're ready to go offline. You can see that at the top here, you have the pick list data cached toast that it provides you to let you know that the pick list is in the cache and you won't have any worries at this point. So there you go, that's picking functionality in Jovic Mobile.
David, that's really exciting to see, especially on my end. We get a lot of feedback about offline mode and low connectivity, so it's really excited to see that that's being addressed in the product. We hear from that all the time. So it sounds like we have a plan now on how to conquer that. We've got one more piece to talk about on our mobile app discussion, and that's issuing. So if you want to walk us through some of the newest features surrounding issuing.
Yeah, absolutely. So this app really does round out our field mobility suite. We're talking receipt, pick, and issue. It's the trifecta, and issuing itself seals the deal and ends things. So the functionality has been built out to allow users to issue items that have already been picked and staged by scanning materials with the TSL or the native camera barcode reader. The key features of this involve the ability to scan a material barcode and just go through each one of those items that have already been picked with the TSL and beep, 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 away you go, and it adds those items just automatically right to your MIR. The validation of the barcode occurs at this point as well, and the fact that verify that the actual item is on a valid pick ticket. If it's not, you receive a notification that the item isn't on a pick ticket and you can take action right on the screen as to what you want to do. Also, you have the offline capable continuance to issue materials during gaps in connectivity. We built that into this functionality as well. Now, we're not able to sync or upload from the offline state at this time. That's future functionality that we're currently working on. The user needs to be connected to connectivity in order to complete this transaction, but in the near future, we're going to take care of that. So again, I'd like to walk you through a demo video of issuing on mobile. So from the main screen, you tap the issue pane. And then from the issue home screen, you can begin scanning the barcodes or RFIDs, the materials you wish to issue. Again, these will be validated in real time on the server to ensure that the materials that you're scanning are actually on pick lists, and that validation process will be happening simultaneously. Or you can tap the green issue details button to verify the details of the issue before adding the materials. Either way works. You can do both. So here's some issue details. By clicking that chevron down at the bottom, we can change the issue to and type in who we're going to be providing these materials to. And Jovix will generate suggestions based on those characters if you want to use the search field as well. So we type in BRA, and as you can see, we have a couple of suggestions here. So we're going to issue these to Brad Ganaway and hit the issue button down at the bottom. So add materials to the issue. You can either use the TSL or the built-in barcode reader, which is your camera on the phone itself. So in this case, we're going to use the TSL to scan an RFID tag in order to assign those materials to a MIR. The specific material record has been added to the issue. For next material, we'll use the built-in barcode scanner. Tapping the green barcode scanner icon pulls up the scanner on your device. And as you can see here, it uses the integrated camera, has a red line so you can get good alignment on that barcode. Just line up the line to the barcode and scan it. It happens in real time. And then once all the materials have been added to the issue, you tap the issue details button to confirm the details and complete the issue. There we go. Yep, issue to Brad Ganaway, looks good to me. So then I can hit the issue button, and we just issued 2 items on MIR 4484 ... So that is a demo of issuing in Jovix functionality, and it's really exciting stuff, eh, Jess?
Yeah, no, I agree. Between issuing, receiving, picking, that's a lot of functionality rolling out. I am particularly excited to get to one more thing though. So let's talk iOS. This is big news for us, and we are now live in the Apple Store, correct?
Yeah, this is really big, and being a huge Apple guy myself, I'm super pumped to make this announcement publicly that we are absolutely live in the App Store right now. It's been a long time coming. We've been in Google Play for a few months, and we're finally overcame all the obstacles to be in the App Store. Being a former customer, I always dreamed of the day that we'll be able to simply download the application from the App Store, and today we can do that from Google Play or iOS. The application will work so long as the Jovix instance that you're on right now is 2017-12 or newer, and your company presently includes mobile in your scope of work. Our mobile suite of applications available at this time are item lookup, item update, supplier staging, receiving, picking, and issuing. Remember that if you're interested in using this great mobile functionality that I shared with you here today, please reach out to info@Atlas RFID or to me directly, and I'll be able to help facilitate bringing it to your worksite.
Great. Okay, so we see some questions popping in, and we're going to open the line shortly to answer those questions. But before that, I want to bring in Jeff Burns. So Jeff is our hardware product manager, and he's going to update us on a new device we have that is tested and approved, which is a big deal for us here. But first, I kind of want to talk through the rigor of what it takes to be approved.
Yeah, Jessica, we rigorously test all of our approved devices. This testing process by our engineering team is designed to ensure complete functionality on our client sites. We also test and approve the best-in-class low-cost hardware. And the latest tested and approved low-cost device is the Samsung J7 phone. The J7 runs our powerful Jovix mobile app, which is available, like Dave said, for Android and iOS. And it's capable of operating the full suite of Jovix features. The Samsung Galaxy J7 was released last year, and right now it retails for around $100, but we can actually get them cheaper from our supplier. And we can also help with cellular plans for your site. And this also, it's not our only low-cost device, it's just the latest. So with low-cost devices in the hands of the users on site, we empower many more users with those Jovix features. And now that we're in the Apple App Store, Jovix is available for pretty much everyone with a phone. So the value of enabling all of our users with the ability to quickly find a pipe or material cannot be overstated. It's extremely powerful, and that's only one small feature. So with the Jovix mobile app, sites can eliminate wasted time waiting on materials and also reprocurement of lost materials.
Yeah, I agree. Everyone is definitely going to like that price point of $100 or less. So that covers picking, issuing, receiving, our iOS latest release, and this new low-cost device. So before we switch it over to Q&A, I'd be remiss not to mention some of our biggest news, which is the announcement of the dates for our Jovix Executive Forum. So this is our 6th annual forum, and for those of you who have attended previously, you're familiar with the content of the forum. So this is an intimate event, an intimate gathering. We're expecting between 50 and 100 individuals to attend. We're hosting it out at the Woodlands, which is a beautiful facility just south of Houston. And we are slowly announcing some of our headlining speakers, which should be some great industry speakers on material readiness and really the innovation that's coming to this industry that we really hope to help promote. So just a little plug, I encourage you to check out jeff.jovix.com, where you can find the agenda, and we're updating it daily with the newest news about the event, and you can find the details and register there online. So I will switch it now to Q&A, and I'm going to toss it over to David to answer one of the first questions that we have in the queue.
Yeah, so the first question that I had come in here is there a need for synchronization on the mobile device the same way that you would sync our offline tablets? And the answer to that is no. When working on mobile field mobility within Jovix, so long as you're online, it is 100% synchronized with the server on a live basis. There's no need for any syncing like we do with the offline tablets. Any changes, any searches, any data manipulation that is done live. Like I demonstrated earlier, in the event that you do go offline, we are putting in some protective agents so that offline mode can be preserved where it's required. But for your standard online state, there's no need for any synchronizations. I see a second question here. When is this functionality going to be available to us? Well, I'm pleased to announce that on June 1st of last week, we went live with 2018.6, and all the functionality that you saw demonstrated today is available to the public within the 2018.6 release, so long as the client you're working with is working on that release number. Next question. This one, let's toss this over to Jeff. Jeff, we have a question here about the specifics regarding the Samsung J7 device. Can you walk us through those?
Yeah, so they're asking about the ruggedness of it. That device is, first of all, we suggest that all of the on-site devices, you use a OtterBox or some sort of case for protection. Whenever we sell devices, we always put an OtterBox for drop protection on it. The J7 is not rated for water or dust protection. I always suggest that that's a good idea if it's feasible. The Samsung S8 and S8 Plus, the Note 8, and the new S9 are all water resistant and dust resistant and good to -10 degrees Celsius. Also, the latest iPhones, the iPhone 8, 8 Plus, and the iPhone 10 are all water resistant. Even still, the J7 is going to be a great device just with that OtterBox protection. And it performs all the functions of our Jovix app, whether it's from suppliers applying tags or if it's a picker in the field that is searching for a tag, for a tagged material. Any of those mobile functions, looking up material details, taking photos, scanning barcodes, all of that is possible with this very low cost, high performance device. It's great that we've created this powerful app that is useful for anyone with a phone. Really anybody on site can go find those materials. So it's not a barrier. We empower anybody on site to do that basic Jovix function of finding exactly where your material is.
Well, that's great. Thank you, Jeff, for taking the time to run us through that. Jessica, the final question is coming in asking to share a little bit more detail around the lineup for the Jovix Executive Forum. Can you walk us through that?
Absolutely. Yeah, so I'm very excited for our lineup, and like I mentioned earlier, we're we're slowly announcing some of our key speakers, and we're excited. David Wilson, the CIO of Bechtel, has stepped on board, and he's going to be presenting to us. We've also got Burson with Oracle talking about what construction sites of the future will look like in 2030. So a lot of futuristic themes going on for that event. But really the focus is, yes, we're looking towards the future, but that action is already happening now. Technology is happening on site. Handheld devices are being used on site. Drones are becoming commonplace. So really we're going to focus the forum on, looking ahead, but what should we be doing now to get that on our site ASAP. So the agenda, though, I will say, is posted on jeff.jovix.com, and that's Jeff with one F, Jovix Executive Forum. And you can see it. I'm updating it weekly, if not daily, with the latest speakers and keynotes. So I definitely encourage you to check that out there. Let's see, we have another question in the queue, and it is, when issuing material, do you have to issue each item one at a time, or can you issue the entire pick list in one shot? For example, they said shrink-wrapped palletized material.
Right. Yeah. So as it stands today with current functionality, Dwayne, you are restricted to issuing one material at a time that exists on a pick ticket already. We had to do that just from an infrastructure standpoint, but it is in our short-term roadmap within the next couple of releases to allow the user right from the picking application to directly issue to an MRIR all the items that they pick through the picking process. So today the functionality is one at a time. Tomorrow the functionality will be pushing directly across from that pick ticket and having that ability to just issue all those materials in one fell swoop. Hopefully that answers your question. Great question. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give it just a minute. If you have any additional questions you want to throw in the queue, we are happy to answer those. If not, you will see on your screen our info@atlasrfid.com. You're welcome to submit any questions there, and we'll be happy to answer those directly to you. I don't see any more questions. So with that, we will end a few minutes early and tell you to have a great day, a great afternoon, and we'll talk to you again next release. Thanks.